Okay, so when I say smart factory, what's the first thing that you picture? I'm gonna guess it's giant, powerful robots, right? Well, what if I told you that's kind of missing the point? The real revolution, the thing that's truly changing the game, isn't about the machines at all. Today, we're going inside the AI-powered factory to find out what's really going on.
And boom, there it is. This quote right here hits the nail on the head. We're not just talking about automating repetitive tasks anymore. The whole game has shifted. It's about creating a system that can actually think, adapt, and learn on the fly. We're moving from just mechanical muscle to a full-on operational brain.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll talk about why it's not just about robots. Then, we'll dive into the AI brain of the factory. Check out its 5 incredible superpowers, look at the very real billion-dollar impact, and wrap up with what the future holds. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first. Let's be real clear on this. For decades, automation was all about one thing, making individual machines go faster, right? But smart manufacturing, that's a whole different ballgame. It's about making the entire system smarter. The AI isn't just telling one robot arm what to do, it's the conductor of the entire orchestra, managing everything from the moment raw materials come in the door to the second a finished product goes out.
So if the factory is a system, let's think of it like a living organism. Seriously, it's got a nervous system, that's all the sensors scattered everywhere, and it's got a brain, which is powered by AI. And because of that brain, it can finally break free from those old, rigid, pre-programmed instructions. It can start making smart, dynamic decisions, like right now, in real time.
And this slide, this just lays it out plain and simple. The difference is night and day. Think about the old way. It was so brittle. You make a perfect plan, but then what happens? A machine breaks, a supplier is late, and bam, the whole system just grinds to a halt. AI flips the script. It brings in what we call adaptive control. It's not just reacting to problems, it's predicting them and adjusting on the fly. It makes the whole operation tough, resilient, and ready for the absolute chaos of modern production.
So you might be wondering, how does this actually work? Well, you can think of it as a 4-layer cake of intelligence. Layer 1, you've got your physical stuff on the factory floor, the robots, the conveyor belts, the machines. Layer 2 is the data collection. Think of it as the factory's senses, with thousands of sensors tracking every little thing in real time. Then comes layer 3, the AI brain. It's constantly crunching all that data, looking for patterns and ways to optimize. And then the magic part, layer 4, the feedback loop. The AI's decisions automatically update the production plans. It's this non-stop cycle of doing, sensing, thinking, and improving, over and over again.
Okay, so we've talked about this AI brain, but what does it actually do? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a toolkit of incredible technologies. And to make it a little more fun, let's call them AI's 5 superpowers. Each one is a game changer for tackling some of the biggest headaches in manufacturing.
First up, predictive maintenance. This is basically the power to see the future. I'm not kidding. Instead of just waiting for a critical machine to break down, which, by the way, can cost a fortune in lost production, the AI is constantly listening to the machine's vital signs like temperature and vibration. It learns what normal sounds like and can predict a failure weeks before it happens. This shift from, oh no, it broke, to, hey, let's schedule a fix for next Tuesday is massive. It can cut that unexpected downtime by up to 50%. That is a total game changer.
Superpower number 2 is computer vision, or what I like to call superhuman sight. You've got these AI-powered cameras that can spot the tiniest defects, a microscopic scratch, a slight misalignment, things a human eye would absolutely miss, especially at the end of a long shift. And they do it in milliseconds. A great example is Bosch. They use this to inspect 100% of their products, getting them incredibly close to a 0 error rate. Imagine that. All right, next up is one of my favorites, digital twins. This is wild. You create an exact, living, breathing, virtual replica of the entire factory. It's like a video game simulation, but for multi-million-dollar production lines. So, you want to try a crazy new layout or test a new process? You can do it all in a simulation first, with 0 risk to your actual production. Companies like Siemens are using this to find hidden bottlenecks and have cut their downtime by almost 30%. It's a virtual playground for optimization.
And of course, we gotta talk about the robots. But clear your mind of those old-school giant robots locked away in cages. We're talking about cobots, or collaborative robots. These guys are designed to work safely right alongside people. They take on the tasks that are super repetitive, incredibly precise, or just plain dangerous. This frees up the human workers to do what we do best: problem solve, think critically, and innovate. So let's be clear, this is about augmenting human potential, not replacing it.
And for the fifth and final superpower, the AI's intelligence looks beyond the factory walls. It's plugged into the entire supply chain. It analyzes market trends and tons of data to predict future demand. So you're not stuck with a warehouse full of stuff nobody wants or scrambling when a product suddenly goes viral. Better yet, it can spot potential disruptions, like a storm hitting a key shipping route, and give you a heads up so you have time to react. It's about making the whole operation smarter from end to end.
Okay, these superpowers are seriously cool. But let's get down to brass tacks. What does all this mean for the bottom line? Does it actually pay off? Let's talk about the real-world billion-dollar impact of going all in on AI.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier, but this number is so huge it's worth hitting again. A 50% reduction in unplanned downtime. Just think about that. Every minute a production line is stopped, money is just pouring down the drain. Cutting that in half, that is a massive, immediate financial win. It's often one of the first and biggest returns you see from investing in AI.
And let's look at a real-world example. BMW. They're using AI for precision welding, and it's saving them over $1 million a year per plant. That's because the AI isn't just a dumb arm. It's smart. It hits the weld with incredible accuracy, and get this, it corrects its own tiny mistakes as it goes. That eliminates all sorts of expensive errors down the line.
But it can get even bigger, much bigger. Look at Ford. They're reporting annual savings of up to $1 billion, with a B. That's what happens when you stop thinking about optimizing one little machine and start using AI to make the entire manufacturing system more efficient. The savings just stack up and compound into these absolutely mind-blowing numbers.
And this brings us to a really important point. This is not about building empty factories run only by robots. It's about changing the role of people inside the factory. We're seeing this massive shift where humans go from being operators, just pushing buttons and pulling levers, to being orchestrators. They're the strategic minds guiding these incredibly powerful and intelligent systems. They're conducting this symphony.
So this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But let's be realistic. This kind of transformation is powerful, but it's definitely not easy. Getting there comes with a whole new set of challenges. And believe me, the evolution of how we make things is far from over.
Yeah, the road to a truly smart factory has some major potholes. First, you need tons of high-quality data. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Then there's cybersecurity. You're connecting everything, which creates new risks. The upfront investment can be huge, and you have to deal with a big skills gap in the workforce. Plus, trying to get brand new AI to talk to a machine from the 1980s, that's a special kind of headache.
So we've been talking a lot about Industry 4.0, which is all about automation and data. But things are already moving on. We're starting to see the dawn of Industry 5.0. And what's different? Well, it actually brings the focus right back to people. It's about using all this amazing tech to serve human goals, things like sustainability and creating highly personalized products for every single customer. It's about finding that perfect sweet spot between the raw efficiency of machines and the awesome creativity of human beings.
And that leaves us with the big final question, a really provocative one. Is all this smart factory tech going to become the new normal, the standard way we make everything? Or is it going to stay an exclusive advantage for the biggest companies that can afford it? In other words, will this technology level the playing field, or will it just create a bigger gap between the manufacturing haves and have-nots? That right there is the billion-dollar question for the future of production. Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.